gentlemen, Cedric Kushner Promotions and Bill Kozerski's Fight Night Incorporated, in association with the Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, CKSN, and Corona Beer, La Cerveza Más Fina, presents this heavyweight explosion contest scheduled for 4 rounds. Your referee for this event is Dale Grable. Introducing in the red corner, wearing the all-black trunks and weighing in at 216 pounds with a professional record of 3 victories, 12 defeats, 1 knockout. He hails from Detroit, Michigan. Here is Mark Johnson. His opponent in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with the white trim, weighing 238 pounds. He is undefeated in 2 professional bouts, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Phoenix, Arizona. Here is Keith Govan. 4 rounds, heavyweights.
Gentlemen, you're given your instructions in the dressing room. Listen to my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, that's what he's worried about.
28-year-old Keith Govan. You see Chuck McGregor in his corner. 2-0. Both fights coming on heavyweight explosion. We've seen them. First fight going the distance, 4 rounds.
Round 1.
And Kevin, you had some comments in that first fight that we saw, Govan. You didn't think he had a killer instinct because he couldn't put Torres away. You weren't there when he stopped McGinnis in 2 rounds. I'd be curious to see your evaluation tonight. Or do you think he's more of a finisher now?
Well, he looked very lethargic to me in the first fight. He looked like he was trying not to
Mark Johnson, although he's 3-12, not much the yardstick, but he tries to fight back. I think Govan is so big. Physically, he's so big. Govan, 6'5", 238 pounds. He's got an 11-inch reach advantage over the 5'11" Mark Johnson. He's so big and strong. Look at him.
I mean, size-wise, it looks like a heavyweight fight. No.
He's got those skinny pins, though. He's only 238 pounds, and for 6'5", and you can see he doesn't have the big legs at all.
Well, that's where most of the weight comes from. But his upper half makes up what his bottom half don't have. And he used it well. He's already had Mark Johnson.
Johnson caught him off balance there.
Mark Johnson got 1 knockout, so he's not known to be a heavy puncher or a heavy hitter with the hands. So, well then, 2-0, 1 knockout. Still 1 knockout to his record.
Well, Buddy Hatcher, who we just saw, he knocked out Mark Johnson in 3 rounds. So that'll tell us a little bit about where Govan is at. If he can do better than Buddy Hatcher.
Oh, he's got Mark.
Oh, nice body shot. Oh, another good body shot. Johnson taking those blows pretty well.
Well, he's definitely in shape for this fight. I'll tell you, it's a 4-round fight. And these first early rounds are the rounds you have to win. It's the rounds that Govan is really taking the fight to Mark Johnson, and not to be confused with Mark 2 Sharp Johnson, but these are heavyweights.
Johnson had a good amateur record. He was 44-11 as an amateur, but has been what you call a career opponent at this point. And seems satisfied with his walk in life as far as that goes. Govan just loading up right now. Coach McGregor is going to tell him that he should have been a little more poised and set those up with the jab, and it'd be a lot easier to take Johnson out rather than loading up on every shot.
That's right. Now, he didn't have to still ain't stick the first pass to him. It's like now he's got all but killing instinct. Maybe too much killing instinct.
There's the bell making the round 1.
This way you gotta use your stiff jab on this guy, man. That's what backed him up. Your stiff jab. And bring your right hand over. Like a 1-2, stiff jab, bring it over. stretch. Stiff jab, bring it over, then add your hook, okay? His body is strong, get his head. Stiff jab, bring it over. Don't brawl with him, man. Don't brawl with him. Keep him moving, keep him moving.
Right hand crazy. Swallow it. Keep your knees bent. Look at what you're punching at. One more swallow. Throw them right uppercuts and finish with a hook. You got a great hook. Set your feet and bomb that hook.
Round 2.
Seems to be a slight cut on the left eye of Keith Govan. So Dick Wood working cuts in there with Chuck McGregor applying something, Kevin. So slight abrasion.
Maybe hopefully they piss him off, Benny. He's been very aggressive in this fight already.
Well, he keeps pawing at that eye, though. Watch him. He keeps moving his left hand and touching his eye. And he's going to do that once too often, and that may be taking him right out of his game plan. He's got to learn to ignore something like that.
But the big thing, he's got to learn how to deal with that. He's got to learn how to overcome that situation. Not go out there and irritate him even more than he's already irritated. You know, if you look earlier in the fight, the turnaround fight, it's cut. You don't know what to do, you don't react to it. You got to really learn to ignore the cuts, any bleeding, any cut, any distraction. Keep your mind on the guy in front of you. Right now, if you worry about Mark Johnson, that's the man who's in front of him. That's the man you got to worry about.
Govan looking a little sloppy on the footing right now. Certainly not as aggressive as he was in the first round. A lot of that may have to do with that slight nick, and it is just a nick at this point, but certainly the first time in his short pro career that Govan has been cut.
Well, what I'm saying is there's some things that Kevin Govan needs to work on. Go watch the tape. He should not be on the inside right now. Keep his
Mark Johnson to the ground. Just this relentless moving from the top, and Mark Johnson thinking about getting up, but not very quickly. And he makes it up at the count of 9. Tells Del Gravely he wants to continue. Let's see what Govan's learned. And you give him a very long breather there for Johnson. Still over a minute to go in round 2. Govan just plugging away at Houston. Johnson's down again. Gravely's counting. 3 knockdowns is in effect here.
5.
The Saginaw Chipper elimination.
7.
Cal Grable pointing to the other corner.
9.
Mark Johnson another 4 seconds, Kevin. The long count. Dempsey now going to the neutral corner.
Well, I'm not understanding the fight is over.
And it looks like it's going to come. It's over. And a very impressive performance for Keith Govan, in spite of the fact that Mark Johnson is just a professional opponent. We certainly
40% of the house is already sold for December 9th. So
did as good a performance as
Jovan 7 fights in
Hatcher did, but he had to stop Mark Johnson in the 3rd round. And how you doing? Dick Wood over there, I'm looking right now. Where are you? At a Blackmore Johnson being asked where he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to the
And
start
Dick
of
Wood
this
just
Silver Boxing tonight.
continues to work on that slight nick on the eye of
Let's go back on those tables.
Took him out of his plan for about 60 seconds, Kevin, and then he recovered right away and went there and took care of business.
I tell you, I'm sorry I said he don't have no motivation. He came out and showed a lot of motivation tonight, and took out Mark Johnson.
Who incidentally still flat on his back.
I impressed me. He ain't gonna press me up again.
All right. We're gonna take a look at the knockdowns quickly here. Big over-clubbing right. Watch him just club Mark Johnson to the ring. You saw 2 of them. There was actually 3 unanswered clubs like that. I believe this will be the 2nd knockdown. Big right over the top. And dropping down one more time. And bought some time there because going to the wrong neutral corner, bought a few extra seconds, and finally the third knockdown and final knockdown in the 3 knockdown rule was in effect. I think that Dale Grable would have stopped it anyway. Official time of the stoppage up to Mark Bureau.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 2 minutes, 30 seconds of the second round, 3 knockdown rule in effect. The winner by technical knockout and still undefeated, Keith Govan.
Keith Govan remains undefeated. He's 3-0. Second win by way of knockout. Mark Johnson will drop down to 3 and an unlucky 13.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up all the action in the ring for this evening. However, plenty of action still remaining in the casino, at the slots and the tables. Until then, for everybody involved with the promotion tonight, this is your ring announcer, Mark Bureau, wishing you a